Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to the session. Guys, just give me a minute. Yes, good morning everyone. I'll share my screen and log into AWS console. Okay, we are here, right, talking about VPC concepts. We talked about NAT gateway and also NAT instance, network address translation. And if you look here, we know what is VPC, subnets. VPC means you can have your virtual private cloud, and subnets. You can divide your VPC into subnetworks, have route tables, internet gateways for the communication with the internet. Egress only internet gateway allows only outbound traffic, that is egress traffic. DHCP option set. So we have also talked about this DHCP option set. This DHCP option set, if you want to bring in your own servers, by default one DHCP option set will be there for our VPC. But if we want to bring in our own servers like DNS servers, NetBIOS servers, we can go and configure DHCP option set for our VPC. Elastic IPs, anyway, we know we have discussed while talking about EC2 also. It's a static IP address, and these endpoints, prefix lists, these three things we will talk later. We will talk about another service. Endpoints allows two services. If you create an endpoint using AWS private link, private network, without actually connecting to the internet, you can communicate with those services. So let us also discuss about another service, say S3, and we will see how to use S3 endpoint. We'll come back here and talk about that. Net gateways, we have talked about it. And coming to peering connection. So the name itself says peering means connecting two things. So here it connects two VPCs. So before talking about peering connections, let us also look into NACL security groups. NACLs means network access control list. Network is already there. So NACL means network access control list. We already talked about different security groups, firewalls. Let me open this. Let's call AWS network security or firewalls. Let's say network firewalls or firewalls. We have three types of network security or network firewall. One is instance level, subnet level, first we'll say VPC. At VPC you can have your firewall, and then at a subnet you can have your firewall, and then instance. We have three things which allows traffic into the network. So here we at VPC level we have address only gateways, right? These are a kind of gateways that will not allow inbound traffic. If you want this, we can go and provision them. They are a kind of firewalls which will not allow any ingress. That means any traffic into it, only outbound traffic is allowed. And instance level, we have security groups. And these security groups, we already talked about them, right? Security groups, what they do? They allow all the outbound traffic, and we have to configure, we have to explicitly mention the traffic which we wish to allow in. And that's why they are called as stateful. So all outbound traffic allowed. Inbound traffic, you have to add the rule. Otherwise, there will not be any inbound traffic. And subnet level. So we also have these kind of security group at subnet level. We call it as NACL, network address control list. Sorry, network access control list. So here also there will be inbound rules and outbound rules, or ingress or outgress, two things. And if you go and see here, NACLs, yeah, this is NACL, NACL ID. See, there is rule number 100. All the traffic is allowed, and there is also rule number, just say asterisk means everything. All the traffic, all the protocols is denied. Both are there, outbound rules. So since it's a default subnet, we have these two rules, this rule and this rule, NACL, subnet NACL, and it applies for all the three subnets. Suppose if you want to apply any rule for entire subnet, so you can edit that rule in NACL, network access control list. So inbound rule, suppose edit inbound rules. So add a new rule, just give a higher number and give. So here this rule is not there. This rule is not there. Only this rule. If you want to put any other rule, add a new rule. The rule number is just, it has to be some number, just higher number. Let's say it's 200. It's just a rule number. And you say custom TCP. I want custom TCP rule, or I want, let's say, SSH. I want SSH to into other VPCs or other subnets. Then I will give the CIDR range of the other subnet. Suppose the other subnet is 172.31 dot some 40.0/16. Save changes. Now all the instances within this subnet under NACL can SSH into the other devices, so other subnets. So by default it's there, but anyway, this is the rule. Suppose if you want to deny any rule, you can deny. That's why it's called as stateless. You can also deny here. So whereas security groups are called as stateful, you can only add, you can only allow, you have no option of deny there. Here at subnet level, you can also deny the traffic. Suppose organization is there, they have created a sub network and they want employees within the organization to work. They don't want to connect with the other internet public websites, so they can block, like YouTube. They don't want to connect to YouTube, they don't want to connect to social media, so they can block, they can deny, or they can allow only traffic coming from some networks which are related to office work, right? So subnet level, subnet level firewall is this one. So and it applies to your entire subnet. Suppose if you added a HTTP rule in the security group, now you are denying HTTP traffic here. Suppose if I deny, I will deny HTTP from the internet. Save changes. Suppose if I deny HTTP traffic, then whatever I do, I cannot, even though my EC2 instance, if they have public IP, they have HTTP rule in the security group, inbound rules, they cannot get HTTP traffic in. At subnet level, we are denying it. We are denying HTTP traffic, and it applies to all the instances within the subnet. So when we are working with subnets, we have to be careful because it applies to entire subnet. All the EC2 instances within the subnet and other services within the subnet, not only EC2 databases and other things, they'll also ask you subnet. So these rules will affect all the things which are there in the subnet. So let us remove this rule and save changes. Inbound rules and outbound rules. By default, rule number 100 is allowing all the traffic from the internet to come in as well as go out, and this is the default thing we got for. And it, whenever you create an VPC and subnet, this default NACL will also be created, and this is for Mumbai's default. When you create VPC, this will also, like route table, a NACL will also be assigned. Network access control list will also be created. If you want an extra one, you can create. Edit inbound rules, actions, manage tags. Subnet associations. I have 3 subnet associations. You can edit the subnet association. And here, if you want to create a new one, create new one. Like route table, we'll get a default route table. However, if you want a separate route table, a private route table, you have an option of creating one more route table. In the same way, network access control list, you will get one by default when you create VPC. If you want an extra knuckle, you can go and create one. So clear. These are network access control lists. And security groups, we know these are all the security groups so far here. And there is limit for security group, but it is very like a huge limit. You can have many security groups, it's not a problem. Now I have 45 security. The I think the limit is in thousands, 2000 or something. So need not worry about security group, and you can use this security group for EC2 instances, VPCs, right? VPCs will also have a default security group. And what is my VPC default security group? Let's see. So this one, this is default VPC security group. This is default VPC security group. And then all these are security group which I have created when launching instances. See, instance security group 1, 3, Windows security group, and we know them. And then we have peering connection, right? Okay, just give me a minute, guys. Okay, sorry for that. And coming back to peering connections. So create a peering connection. What a peering connection allows you to do? It allows to connect two VPCs. So let's create one VPC. So let's say one organization maintains different VPCs for different departments. Say there is VPC for finance department and another VPC for marketing department, sales department, development department. There are different VPCs. So let us call it as development VPC, dev hyphen VPC. And CIDR block will go with this CIDR block only 10.0.0/24. and then that's it, right? Create VPC. And I'm not attaching any internet gateway, right? There is a one VPC. We are calling it as dev VPC. And this organization has created one more VPC for their marketing department. Say, for example, create VPC. Marketing VPC. Let's say 20.0.0/24. Create VPC. And let's go and see. Now I have two VPCs. This VPC and this VPC. And they maintain these different VPCs for different departments. And suppose now marketing guys need some access of EC2 instances or other services, databases, it can be anything. And they need access of some services that are there in development department. They need full access, and also vice versa. Development department also need some access to the resources in marketing VPC. And these two VPCs are isolated now, isolated from each other. Have I given the same CIDR range? The VPC, marketing VPC. So let us create one more VPC. It's 30 0/24. Say sales VPC. Create VPC. So CIDR is this. Go to your VPCs. Yeah, this one and this one. So these two have same CIDR. Let us not use both of them. So let us delete development VPC. Delete. Okay, this one and this one. Two VPCs are there. Now suppose sales department needs access to marketing VPC, and marketing VPC also need access to sales VPC. Then how you can do is using VPC peering. You can establish a peering connection between these two VPCs. Peering connections, create a peering connection. Just give a name. This is say test or peering demo, and you have to send a request. And here you can also establish this pairing connection with another account. Suppose if you want to establish a VPC connection with your friend's VPC, then you have to give the account ID of your friend's AWS account. Where you can find this? So this is my account ID. So other AWS accounts, you can also pair up with those VPCs, right? And I'll stick to my account and also another region. Suppose VPC is in another region. Right now we are in Mumbai. Suppose VPC is there in some Singapore. Then what you have to do? First, you have to select Singapore and give the VPC ID. So I have created both the VPCs within the same region. So I'll just give VPC ID. VPC requester ID and VPC acceptor ID. If you and requester means your VPC is the requesting one, and where is the acceptor? If it is in another account, provide the account ID. If it acceptor is located in another region, provide region details and also the VPC ID. So let's go. Sales VPC. Let's say sales VPC is requester and this is the CIDR range and acceptor VPC. Marketing. So sales VPC is raising the request and sending this to this one. This is a marketing VPC. Create peering connection. Okay. Right now I can see I got this because both my requester and acceptor are in the same region and are in the same AWS account. So I am getting this request. I can see request has been raised by this. This is the requester VPC and this is the acceptor VPC. Status pending acceptance. I need to accept this. How to say actions and accept request or reject request. You can delete the VPC peering connection and add or edit tags. So let us accept the request. So this is yes, are you sure you want to accept VPC pairing? Yes. And now these two, requester and acceptor, is accept. So now it is active. And route tables. So no route tables associated with it. What we will say, we will go here, go to these VPCs. And route table. And I have these two route tables, right? This is this sales VPC route table. Sales VPC route table. Sales route table. And marketing. Route save. Let us go and edit these route tables. So already we can see this is sales route table and routes. I have the local route and I want my route table not only route within this VPC. Now I can also add marketing route VPC CIDR range also. Why? Because there is a pairing connection. So edit route and see whether you have a peering connection or any other connection, NAT gateways, NAT instances, whatever it is, route is very important. When you configure this service, you should also add the route. So add route and then this is the range. Using what? This type peering connection. This one. Save changes. So now the route table has local route within the VPC and using pairing connection, it can also route the traffic to this. So this is done. Let us go to VPC and we should also add route here in marketing VPC. So this is the route table and routes. Uh, See, this is the local route, edit routes, add route 30, this one, right? 30.0.0/24, this one. And using peering connection, Save changes. That's it, done. Peering connection is established. What we have done, first we have created a peering connection, and then right after establishing a peering connection, we have edited these VPCs. And now to test this, you can launch two VPCs, sorry, two EC2 instances in two VPCs. For this, we should have the subnet. These are all default subnet. Let us create a subnet here. Let us give the same CIDR range. Say subnet of sales. Create subnet. So what we have done, so we have sales VPC and we have created subnet in that. And let me create one more subnet. This time in marketing VPC, we call it as marketing subnet. So let's keep it as no preference, but no preference if it is 1C. So let's 1A. This one, and create subnet. So we have created subnet, this one and this one. Two subnets are there. Now let's go to EC2 and launch two instances. Launch instance, select configure instance details, and I am keeping this instance in sales VPC, and let us enable public IP, but there is no internet gateway. There is no internet gateway for this VPCs, but let's enable subnet, or yes, next. Add HTTP rule. Let's keep SSH only. Review and launch. And select this, and this is previously I think we have used sales, right? Let me go and check. Yes, right, sales. Sales. Now EC2 instances, launch one more instance, and this time we will see marketing VPC, and now I am going with subnet setting disable. So let us keep this instance as private. So one instance is public and then one instance is private. Why one instance is public? Because I want to SSH. That's why one instance in public. Next, add storage, tags, security group, review and launch instance. So this is there. Two instances are there. Let us go to VPC again. I have two VPCs. Both of them don't have an internet gateway. Let us create one internet gateway and create. So I'll use it with sales. Attach to VPC sales. So here two VPCs are there. Only one VPC has internet gateway, and also I have launched one EC2 which has public IP address in the sales, which has that internet gateway, and also edit the route table, sales route table. We will edit route and add this route, internet route, using internet gateway. Internet gateway, save changes. Done. Now let's go and connect to EC2 instance. See, there are two VPCs, this VPC and this VPC. A sales VPC is public VPC, whereas marketing VPC is private one. And go to EC2 instances. Two are running, and I can connect to this. This is public IP address. And to get a public DNS, what we have to do is go to VPC, sales VPC, right? Actions, edit DNS host names and enable. By default, it will be not enabled. If you enable this, you'll get a host name for your EC2 instance within this VPC. Now let's go and check. See, now I got DNS name as well as public IP. Right, let us connect to this. That's why to connect to it, we have added internet gateway as well as enabled it with a public IP, given a public IP to this instance. You can SSH and connect into it, or you can use browser connection also. Connect EC2 instance, connect. So I established this pairing connection. Let us try with pin request. Pin 10.0.0.0 slash, so this. Anyway, we don't have this, right? So let's say close. Let us SSH into this private instance, so which is in a different VPC. For that, I need key pair. So vi demo ec2 .pem is the key pair. Demo ec2. What I am doing, I am copying this key pair, right? We already discussed this, copying the key pair. I need to connect to the private instance, which is in another VPC. And come here. So I need to log in as root user, and then vi demo ec2 dot pem. Done. Now let us SSH. How? So I'll go here and then go to private instance and copy command from there. This is private instance. So it has only IPv4, and also you can look into the CIDR range. It's part of a different VPC. Connect. No, unable to paste. So chmod 400 ec2 demo ec2 dot pem. Okay, I have created it here. Yes, now it's now SSH. So this is the command to SSH, and ec2 user at the rate, and this is the address SSH hyphen I, and the key pair name ec2 dot pem ec2 user at the rate 10.0.0.0. Last one is 198, I think. 198. Yes, right, we have connected. So pin request is not working because we have to add ICMP traffic. The rule in while in the security group of the instance, otherwise pin request will not work. So actually this is private instance in another part of VPC. If there is no peering connection, then you cannot SSH into this VPC. So because of we have that pairing connection between these VPCs, actually this is different VPC. This EC2 instance belongs to this VPC, and this is different VPC. So that is peering connection, guys. And peering connection, if you go back, go to our VPC. Suppose you have 3 VPCs or 4 VPCs. A pair, if you want to make peering connections, suppose A, B, C, D, 4 VPCs are there. And if you want to establish peering connection between 4, that means you have to connect A with B, C, D, and B with other three, and C with other three, D with other three. It's not like that. A VPC and B VPC already have a pairing connection, and if B VPC also have C pairing connection, right, then we don't get A and C pairing. Let's open this. Insert shapes. So let's call it as VPC A, A VPC, and this is B, and there is pairing connection, right, and now B is connected with C. Right. So again, if A and B are have a pairing connection, B and C have a pairing connection, then if A should also have a pairing connection with C, means we should establish another pairing connection between A and C. So if there are D, E, F, it is the same thing like that. So you should explicitly connect a pair to VPCs. It's not that if A is connected to B and C is connected to B, now A and C are not paired up with each other. So that thing is one drawback of a VPC. Why? Because if there are not drawback, so when you have so many VPCs, if you want to pair up all of them, it would be a little tedious. Like pairing connections, we have one more thing called as transit gateways. Transit gateways. Transit gateways are also used to connect to VPCs. Not only VPCs, you can also bring VPNs, and they also work with direct connect. So how this transit gateway work is, let's say create transit gateway, go here, no image here. Okay, using transit gateway, uh, this transit gateway acts as a hub and interconnects VPCs as well as VPNs. Suppose there are n number of VPCs and you can set a transit gateway as a hub. And now what happens with the transit gateway is, so VPC A is there, VPC B is there, VPC C, and let's say VPC D is also there. Now they all need to be interconnected. So if you want to use pairing, then what I have to do, I have to connect A with C, D, B, and same thing with B. B has to be paired up with A, C, and D, and same thing with others. this one. And here. So if you have here there are 4. Suppose there are n number, that n is a some bit large number. It's suppose 50 VPCs are there, and we want all the VPCs to uh, get connected. And then peering connection might be a bit tedious. You have to go and connect each A to other VPCs. So what you can do, you can use transit gateway. TGW. Internet gateway is hyphen IGW, right? Transit gateway means hyphen TGW. Now, if A is connected to transit gateway, see, I am not establishing connection between A and D or C and B or A and B. So we are attaching A VPC with the transit gateway, B with transit gateway, C with transit gateway, D with transit gateway. That's it. Now C is a transit gateway. Uh, let's say now new connection is coming in, new VPC. Already A, B, C are members of the transit gateway. Now E is also coming. Recently I have added E. Now I am adding E. That means E can communicate with BVPC, DVPC, C and AVPCs as well, because they are all members of transit gateway. They are attached to transit gateway. Clear, guys? Any doubts about transit gateway? Okay. Now let us go and create this transit gateway. Name tag. Let us call it as demo transit gateway. Description you can leave anyway, it's optional. And we have ASN, autonomous system number. You can leave it, it is automatically it will come. If you want to explicitly mention, you can mention from this range 6400 and 500 and this range, right? We have some 64,512, sorry, to 65,000 change, some 65,500. So between these numbers you can mention anything, but it's better to leave as is. So ASN stands for autonomous system number. It is Amazon assigns this number, so you can keep it like this only. No need of giving this. Leave it as default. And other things also, DNS support, other things also leave it as default. And transit gateway CIDR blocks. Let us keep it. Let us leave it for now and create transit gateway. So my transit gateway is on the process. It's getting created. So after creating this transit gateway, I'll attach VPCs. Create transit gateway attachments. So right now I have 2 VPCs. Let us call this as VPC A. And this is VPC B. And I'll also create one more VPC with a VPC C. /24. This is my third VPC. A, B, C. Now let's go and check our transit gateway. Created a transit gateway, is pending and process is still in pending. So I have created this. I have created this transit gateway and then created A, B, C VPCs. Now, next we have to attach. So make this. And for that attachments, I should wait. Now it's available. Let's go to transit gateway attachments, create transit gateway attachment and gateway ID. This one, VPC only. You can also connect VPN, peering connection and direct connect. So let us stick on to VPC for now. VPC attachment and name tag. Let's say this is first attachment, DNS support and VPC ID. So let us add VPC A. So create attachment. So first attachment and actions, create a transit gateway attachment. Let's call it as second. Uh, sorry, it's gateway ID. Attachment type VPC, name tag, let's call it as second attachment. We will attach it to VPC B. This one, right? Create attachment, close. Same thing with C. VPC, third attachment with VPC C. VPC C and create attachment. Cancel. Transit gateway, VPC only. Third, VPC ID. This one. Subnet IDs. Oh, there is no subnet ID. These are subnet IDs anyway. Create attachment. Failed either. So VPC ID we have provided, but subnet we don't have subnet, right? And VPC we just now we have created. We don't have the subnet. So let's go and create one subnet. So we have two subnets, subnet A and subnet B. This is in VPC A and this is in VPC B. But for VPC C, we have not created any subnet. So subnet, create subnet in VPC C. Let's say call it as C subnet. And availability zone, let's say B now. And CIDR range. This is a CIDR range. Yes, CIDR range. And then create subnet. Now let's go and attach it to transit gateway. Here I am, transit gateway attachments. Already two attachments are there. Let us create third attachment. This one, name tag, third, and then VPC ID, this one, third VPC. See, now create attachment, close. Three are there. Now, all these three are connected through a transit gateway. I can add if 100 VPCs, yes, I can add 100 VPCs. Not only VPCs, you can bring VPNs and direct connects also. And that is transit gateway attachment, and there is transit gateway route table. So when you create a transit gateway route table will also be there. Transit gateway route table. Let's go back. Transit gateway route table. This is gateway ID. If you look into associations, VPC, those three VPCs, all your attachments will come into the route table. So we no need to explicitly edit the route table. When you add attachment, those attachment comes in here associated with the route table. And then we have multicast, and also you can create a peering connection between the transit gateways. Now I have a transit gateway, right? So all the, suppose I have EC2 instances in these three VPCs. Now they can connect with each other, but I should edit the route table. Edit the route table of VPCs. So this is VPC. So I should edit. Let's remove this. Ten dot zero dot zero dot zero slash 24. This one. And I'm going to this route table can route into this VPC using transit gateway now. Where is transit? Transit gateway. I don't know why this is flickering when I. So transit gateway, same thing with other VPC 20 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0 slash 24, right? And using transit gateway. Seems like there is some, yep, transit gateway. So this is the VPC, and now the route table has the two other routes, uh, and it can route traffic into this and this VPCs using transit gateway. Save changes. And route tables, same with other route table. I have marketing route table. So sales route, I'm calling it as VPCA, right? So let us edit this. This is VPCA route. This is VPCA route table. And this is VPCB route table. Save. Same thing here also. I don't want this peering connection now. Remove. Instead, I'll use transit gateway. I'll connect with other two VPCs. Add a rule and mention transit gateway here. One more rule to VPC A. This is VPC A B, second one, and now VPC A. Transit gateway again. Okay. Save changes. VPC C route. Right. So I should also do the same thing here. Now all the VPCs are attached using transit gate. Clear, guys? Any doubts? Clear about transit gateways and peering connections? And now to test this, you can launch EC2 instances in these three VPCs. And we have an internet gateway connection to only one, and try connecting to other VPCs, it will work. It's a private connection to other EC2, other VPCs, transit gateway. Okay, guys, then see you tomorrow. Yeah, bye, everyone.